Hi there, Mr. Muhammed is here. Unit 6, Trigonometry. You have been waiting so long until we reached this unit. Trigonometrics, the easiest case in trigonometric functions is while we are working on right angle triangles. So remember the longest side in any triangle is called hypotenuse. So here this 12 is the hypotenuse, this 4 is the hypotenuse, and here it's marked as h. Hypotenuse is the longest side in right angle triangles, and it's always opposite the right angle. So here is the right angle, this is the hypotenuse. Here is the right angle, this is the hypotenuse. Here is the right angle, this side is the hypotenuse. So we call hypotenuse h in the rules, so for simplicity. And for any angle, the side opposite the right angle is called hypotenuse. The side opposite the other angle is called opposite. So opposite means the side opposite the other angle, not the right angle. And the side next to the angle is called adjacent side. So for simplicity, we call the hypotenuse h, O for the opposite, and A for the side next to the angle, which is called the adjacent side. Then we have sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine of this angle, we work on this triangle, so we need to use angle x. So the sine of angle x is opposite over the hypotenuse. So sine of x is opposite over the hypotenuse. O over h, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, we don't use opposite for cosine. We use the adjacent side. And for simplicity, we call A. So cosine of x is A over h. Tan is the only function in trigonometrics so far that has no hypotenuse in it. Tan of x is just between opposite and adjacent. There is no hypotenuse in tan. Tan of x is O over A, which is opposite over adjacent side. Make sure to practice this and memorize these as rules. Sine is always opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. We're going to use these functions to work out the length of the missing side of triangle. In question 1, here it's an interesting question. Try to do this question. Draw these accurately. Draw a circle with radius 10. Then draw a tangent line. Mark using protractor. Mark 3 angles. One is 20. The other one here. This angle is 20. This angle from here to here is 40. And the third angle from here all the way to here should be 50 degrees. Then follow these instructions. You see that these functions are useful. But what I focus on this lesson is finding missing sides in right angle triangles. Remember, sine, cosine, tan. When you have a missing side, there must be a right angle. Then we can use them as opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, and opposite over adjacent. Now, question 1. In question 1, as you see, a side is missing. What is the relation between this angle and this side? So this side is opposite this angle. Whenever you see the side is opposite the angle, think of sine. Then we'll make an equation like this. Sine of 27 is equal to A over 10. A is the opposite, 10 is the hypotenuse. Then we are using calculator to work out the side. With calculator, we find sine of 27. That will help us to find the missing side, which is A. Then now grab your calculator to work out this side using calculator. That will help us to find the missing side, which is A. Then in your calculator, write sine of 27. Then you see it's equal to 0.45399. Then to write this, 0.4539 is equal to A over 10. How can we get rid of this 10 if we multiply both sides by 10? Then this answer times 10 times 10. The answer is 4.539. As you see, the question asks for 3 significants. For this number, 3 significant, it will be 4.54. Well, A is 4.54 centimeters long. 4.54 centimeters. Question 2, which side is missing? It's again the side opposite the angle. We have this angle. The opposite of the angle, the side is missing. Again, we have to use sine. Then sine of 61. Sine of 61 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, b over 4. Then again, use your calculator. Sine of 61 is equal to 0.87. So 0.874 is equal to b over 4. How can we get rid of this 4? By multiplying both sides by 4. Then this answer times 4 is equal to 3.498. As you see, the question says 3 significant figures. Well, this 8 can make this 9, 10. So finally, b is equal to 3.5. It will be 3.5 centimeters. Question 3. Now here, opposite the angle is not given, so it means we cannot use sine. We can't use sine because the opposite is not given. What is given? We have hypotenuse, and the missing side is the side next to the angle, which is the adjacent. Then when the side next to the angle is given, it means it's the adjacent side. We have to use cosine. Then cosine of 58 is equal to c over hypotenuse, the adjacent over hypotenuse, c over 7. Now cosine of 58 is equal to 0.52991. Then 0.5299 is equal to c over 7. How can we get rid of the 7? Multiply both sides by 7. You see this answer times 7 is equal to 3.70. To 3 significant figures, it will be 3.71. So c is 3.71 centimeters long. In this question, guess what should we use? What should we use? Cosine, because the side next to the angle is missing. The opposite side is not given. Sine is useless in this question. We must use cosine to find the missing angle. Here, opposite is missing. Hypotenuse is not here. Whenever you see hypotenuse is not given, it means sine and cosine cannot do their work. Well, we have to go to tan. Now, tan of 38.7 is tan is opposite over adjacent. So it's x over 10. Now, with calculator, tan of 38.7, tan of 38.7 is equal to 0.81. 0.8011, then we need to get rid of this 10, multiply this result by 10. That gives 8.01. To three significant figures, it stays as 8.01. So x is 8.01 centimeters. Question 6, again hypotenuse is not given, then we have to use tan. Question 7, hypotenuse is given, so sine should take place here because the opposite is missing and hypotenuse is given. Then that's how we work out. Sine of 27 is equal to x over 100. Sine of 27 is 0.45. To get rid of this 100, we have to multiply it by 100. That gives 45.39. To three significant figures, it will be 45.4. Well, x is 45.4 centimeters long. Question 8. Can we use sine? No, because hypotenuse is not given. Can we use cosine? No, because hypotenuse is not given. So it means we have to use tan. Tan of 40 is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Tan of 40 is equal to the opposite is y over the adjacent, 5.17. How we know it's the opposite? Because look, it's opposite the angle, and this side is next to the angle, which is adjacent, and this is opposite. Now use calculator. Tan of 40 is equal to 0.839. Then we need to get rid of this 5.17 and multiply this result by 5.17 times 5.17. That gives 4.33. This number is 8. It makes this 4. 4.34. Three significance. This is the length of side y, and it's in centimeters. Question 9. Guess what could be used? The opposite is not given. It means sine cannot be used. We have hypotenuse and adjacent. It means we can use cosine. Do it yourself. These questions, now the same idea is repeating over and over. Let's move on to the next set of exercise that we have a combination of triangles. These questions are word problems. Like you roughly sketch the triangle, then work on it. 23. All triangles have a right angle, because without right angle we cannot say opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. They don't work without right angle. That's why the question makes sure to give you a right angle, then you do your duty. The right angle, the 90, is with the B, because the question says the middle letter is the side that has the 90 degree. If we roughly draw this triangle, that's how it looks. A, B, C. The right angle is with the B, so it means AC is the hypotenuse, which is missing, and angle C is 40 degrees. BC is 4 centimeters. Find AB. Look at the question again. ABC is a triangle. Okay, the right angle is with the side, with the middle angle. Okay, angle C is 40 degrees. BC is 4 centimeters. BC is 4. Find AB. AB is the missing side. Well, let's mark it as X. Now, do we have the hypotenuse? No, it means we cannot use sine, and cosine. So we have to use tan because in tan function we can cover the opposite and the adjacent. Tan of 40 is equal to opposite over adjacent. Tan of 40 is opposite over adjacent. Tan of 40 is equal to 0.839. Then, as you know, we have to get rid of this 4. Then this result should be multiplied by 4. The answer, which is tan of 40 times 4, is 3.356. This question doesn't mention significant figures. If we want to round it to 3 significant figures, it will be 3.36. So x is x, which is AB. X is AB. It's 3.36 centimeters. Similarly, you can do all the questions. Just sketch the triangle. It's not drawn to scale. Sketch the triangle and look. Do you have the hypotenuse? Which side is missing? Is it the opposite? Is it the adjacent? And then using sine, cosine, and tan, you can find the missing side. Exercise set 3. It has the same idea, but this time we need to use two functions, like we need to use sine and tan to find two missing sides. We need to use more than one function, or we use one function twice, because in most of these questions we have two missing sides. And in all the triangles we have a right angle. That's why we are allowed to use the rules that we took. Now, look at this triangle. In this triangle, we have the hypotenuse, we have the opposite is missing, we need to use sine. Then sine of 30 is equal to x over 10. Sine of 30, using calculator, sine of 30 is 1 over 2. Then this 1 over 2, let's write it. 1 over 2 is equal to x over 10. How can we get rid of this 10? We need to multiply both sides by 10. Then 1 over 2 times 10 is equal to 5. So x is 5 centimeters. Now we got one missing side. Now look at this triangle. Now to find y, we got x, which is 5 centimeters. This angle is 90 degrees, so this angle next to it, of course, is 90 degrees. And the side opposite the right angle is hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is not given. Hypotenuse is not given, so it means we are going to use opposite of the angle and the adjacent. So tan can cover the opposite and adjacent. Now simply tan of 42 is equal to opposite, which is x, which is 5, over the adjacent, y. Now using calculator, tan of 42 is equal to 0.9004. 0.9004 is equal to 5 over y. As we studied while we were making subjects, if we want to make y the subject in this equation, we need to flip both sides. The denominator of this one is 1. Flip them. We will have 1 over 0.9004 is equal to y over 5. Now, to have y alone on this side, we need to multiply both sides by 5. So that gives 5 over 0.9004 is equal to y. With a calculator, work out this. Now we have the 904 in the calculator, so we just need to divide 5 by the answer. 5 divided by the answer means 5 divided by 0.9004. This is equal to 5.553. It means y is 5.55 centimeters. So here y is 5.55 centimeters. Y is 5.55 centimeters. This question, we can use this smaller triangle to find this x. X for this smaller triangle is hypotenuse, and the side that is given is next to the angle. So it means we need to use cosine, because cosine covers the adjacent and hypotenuse, and we can find the hypotenuse of this smaller triangle. Then for the bigger triangle, we have the side opposite the 28 and the hypotenuse is missing. We can use sine, because sine can cover opposite and hypotenuse. Do it yourself. Question 3, we can start in the smaller triangle, because in the smaller triangle we have one angle, one side, and one side is missing. But in the bigger triangle we have an angle, but we don't have any other side to help us find y. That's why we need to start with the smaller triangle. Then which sides are given? We have opposite and adjacent are given. So it means we have to use tan. Tan of 60 is equal to opposite is x over adjacent is 40. Now tan of 60 is equal to opposite over adjacent, x over 40. Tan of 60 is equal to the square root of 3. As decimal, it's 1.732. It's fine. Which one you use, finally you'll get the same answer. Then 1.73 is equal to x over 40. How can we get rid of this 40? Multiply both sides by 40, then this 40 will be cancelled, and 1.73 will be multiplied by 40. Times 40 is equal to 40 square roots of 3, or 69.28. We can say x is 69.28 centimeters. Now x is 69.28. Now in the bigger triangle, we know the side next to the angle, which is the adjacent side, and y is opposite the angle, which is O. Again, we have to use tan, because hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle, is not given. Hypotenuse, we don't know. We have to use tan again. Now tan of 50 is equal to opposite, which is y, over the adjacent, which is 69.28. Now tan of 50 is 1.191. To get rid of this 69.28, this number should be multiplied by 69.28. So it is equal to 82.56. It means y is 82.56 centimeters long. Y is 82.56 centimeters. Question 6. Look, we work on each triangle separately, and we can find one missing side in each triangle. Where to start? We cannot start in this triangle because we have one angle. One side is missing. We don't have any other side to help us finding x. We cannot work on this triangle because we have one angle and two sides are missing. There is no any other side to help us finding z or y. Look at this triangle. We have one angle given. Good. One side is given and one side is missing. So it means it's something that we can deal with. Now, identify the sides. This side is opposite the 30. And this side y, it's opposite the right angle, so this one is opposite and this one is hypotenuse. What should we use? Sine, because sine can cover opposite and hypotenuse. Sine of 30 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, 5 over y. Sine of 30 is equal to 1 over 2. 30 is 1 over 2. Then 1 over 2 is equal to 5 over y. It's okay to write 0.5 is equal to 5 over y. Now the y, the missing side is in denominator. We have to flip. 2 over 1 is equal to y over 5. Then how can we get rid of this 5? By multiplying both sides by 5. That gives 10 is equal to y. The y is 10 centimeters. We got one missing side, 10. Now we can work on this triangle because we have one angle, one side is missing, and one side is given to help us find z. Now identify the sides. Z is the opposite, and this side is opposite the right angle, so this is h. Opposite and h, it means we need to use sine. Sine of 40 is equal to opposite, which is z, over 10. Sine of 40 is equal to this, and we need to get rid of this 10, so this number times 10, it's equal to 6.43. 6.43 is the length of z. Now we got this. Now we know z is 6.43. In this triangle, one angle is given, one side is given, and one side is missing. Identify the sides. Z is the opposite for this angle, and x is the hypotenuse because it's the longest side in this triangle. Hypotenuse is missing. Which function can cover opposite and hypotenuse? Again, sine. Sine of 25 is equal to opposite, which is 6.43 over hypotenuse, x. Sine of 25 is equal to this, 0.4226. 0.4226 is equal to 6.43 over x. Flip both sides. 1 over 0.4226 is equal to x over 6.43. Now to get rid of this 6.43, we need to multiply both sides by 6.43, and 6.43 appears here. Then 6.43 divided by the answer, 6.43 divided by 0.4226, which is in the answer. Done. X is 15.21 centimeters long. Now you can do these on your own. Look, these are pieces of information that are given because the information are not on the diagram, but you can still use them. Finding a known angle is the topic for the next lesson. Thank you for watching.